Right, I'm back again. Good day, everyone. And good day to you too, baby. Right. I'm back again. Hello everyone, my name's Jack Discover, and welcome back to Help 102. This 10-year anniversary, I forgot to say that was the Lent Cafe siege that was committed by Islamic Muslim terror attack. 10 years ago, a Muslim terror attack had occurred at Lent Cafe in Martin Place. It led to the death of 5 white Australian victims being gunned down by the jihad of the GLA. That Australia and the Australian culture were deliberately attacked by Musrats, which brought Australia into an inner war against the GLA, against the Global Liberation Army and Islamic Empire. Followed by several Islamic terror attacks like the Parramatta shootout, and all thanks to Malcolm Turnbull and ScoMo, both allowed the Muslim invasion of Australia and the rise of Islamist jihadist recruitment, and later on the pro-Palestinian jihadism, which is happening since last year of 2023, to all be successful. We Australian citizens have already felt let down by the Australian government and already further angered by the Labour-based government and the Islamic State collaborated First Nation government that emerged. And Australians are now under Islamic occupation, and we still kept being bothered by woke-like addictions of hard left tyranny. The racial attack on white lives and that hard left tyranny and injustice both became law. We need right-wing resistance to be duty. But there weren't any right-wing resistance. Only hard left tyranny and woke activism. What happened that many Australians are being talked out of right-wing freedom by Asia in the past, and now into hard left radicalization and black alien tyranny of supporting the black regime. And this cyber-left Marxism had spiraled out of control into numb-like totalitarian leftists, into supporting the divisive hard left, what we call the woke empire. While law and the government only allow left-wing radicalization. I mean, no right-wing nationalism, no right-wing speech or free speech either, or freedom thought, or freedom press, or freedom assembly, all those that the left and the government claims. Now, I know there are many people who hadn't woken up to themselves because of left-wing indoctrinations, left-wing radicalizations, or left-wing re-education programs that were from the World Economic Forum, the WHO, the United Nations, big governments of the left, and a small amount of Jews who were forced to cooperate with the cyber-left, communists, pro-Palestinians, Muslims, black corporates, Aboriginal greedism, and let's not forget artificial intelligence, that wanting to control and spread its hard left propagandas that they are programmed to. What do they want or what do they seek is what we're going to find out. I know you've been waiting for it desperately, and I know this would be terrifying and disturbing, and we're going to learn the disturbing similar-based re-education style from Help 101st, and as well as Project Goldfinger Rabbit, as well as Vanessa, who is part of Project Goldfinger Rabbit, who went into Orwellian hard-left madness because of the digital version of William Afton, the Asia virus. But for now, let's get into this, shall we? I just realized that my camera was out of action. I know my camera gear and my electronics are failing because you didn't support me on donation sites that are linked below. Please support me on Patreon, Ko-fi, and PayPal, and buy me a coffee. I need you to support me to keep these content going, otherwise won't have anything in it with cyber socialism for eternity until World War III, and then English socialism would be the future, and wouldn't like that. Make correct orders and do it. Okay? Okay. Chica! Chica! Yep, the 1049 tank engine from Zigzag Railway. Oh no. Oh no. What happened? Oh. What the hell happened? What was that? Okay. Okay. Acid. Protein. Ow! Yeah, well, I wonder what that about. Take 2. Salt. Okay, come on. Salt. Salt. And break. I'll let that lesson. Caffeine. Acid. Protein. I learnt that lesson from 2 episodes ago. Oh. Expect. Salt, sugar, caffeine. Right. Acid, protein, salt. I hope you're not going into here, buddy. Okay. Caffeine. Sugar. Salt. Okay. It's starting to go a bit quicker as I thought. Protein. Acid. Sugar. Gladly. Acid. Oh no, glitches. Okay. Salt, sugar, caffeine. Pause. Wow. Sugar. Oh my God. Okay, work faster. Come on. Caffeine. Oh no. Okay. Caffeine, sugar. Test by the scratch. Okay, just slow down. Caffeine, protein, acid, salt. Okay. Sugar, acid. Protein. Okay. Acid. Protein. I did have... Oh, come on. Come on. Uh-oh. Oh no. Gone a bit badly. Where has this gone so wrong? Ow. Sugar. Acid. Ah! Yes! Yes! No prize. What the? Just like the other level. No prize. What the hell is that about? Finally. A gift? Hey! I'm Golden Freddy of the Midas Touch! Golden Freddy of the Midas Touch! Okay. Gold finger. The finger right there. Yeah, golden finger. Okay. One more action figure, and that will be it. But for now... Yes, viewers, hard leftism is still Orwellian. Leftism, socialists of the hard left, left-wing tyranny, big governments of the left are still too hard to ignore, especially in Australia. And its Aboriginal First Nation ideology is still Orwellian. And hard leftism is still requiring to re-educate people into radical leftism. Even City University is full of brain manipulations. This brain manipulation, hard leftism, since the last 4 years into left-wing dystopia radical left-wing Marxism, and the laws and they are maintaining them to double-think into wedding cog-like machines. The more that happens, the more likely the government poisons their souls, while their souls were demonized and possessed by the hard-left elites, trapped into computer-generated imagery like Dreamworld, such as Princess Quest or The Matrix. We're getting to know the law and theory of Project Goldfinger Rapid through Help One of the First, and why the Labour government and the Liberal Party had funded and supported Missy Afton and Fazbear's entertainment with taxpayers' money into that VR game, Help One of the First, to not only control people with cyber virtualism and to spread the left-wing ideology further, but to also reassemble William Afton in a digital glitch-like form. More on that after the break, so don't go anywhere because we're not done with this lore yet. Oh, and also, while we're on this episode conversation, we're going to actually show you, instead of advert break, we're going to show you one of the episodes from Boring Hanson's One Nation cartoon series, because this digital ID is going to affect people's minds and bring them all together into one place, so that Glitch Trap can make a digital presence. Everyone who has a digital ID will be glitched by the malware, in which they're going to be put into one place by the government. Just like, so that the Asia glitch virus, the malware will take everyone's score, everyone's points from everyone who has digital ID, will have their points seized by Glitch Trap, so that Glitch Trap can make its presence, bring people into one place, and also the Asia monster Vanny and her whereabouts will be impossible to escape from.
Left my mind under.
Gerald, it's 8 AM on a Friday. Why don't you come watch the Pauline Hanson Please Explain cartoon? It's only happening because of your support. Remember when you bought that bottle of Senate gin from pleaseexplain.org.au to support the series?
Yes. Don't forget I also bought the Rosella vodka too, honey. But please, I'll be there in a minute. I'm just securely uploading my personal identification documents into this secure site.
Are you sick and tired of the government not having access to all your personal data?
No, not really.
Do you sometimes wish you could just store all your sensitive identification documents in one centralised digital system that's designed and operated by the government?
Huh? No, not at all. Go away.
Well, too bad, because without any debate or scrutiny,
We've passed the digital ID bill through Parliament. That's right, we've streamlined the process for you to give us all your sensitive identification documents, and fast.
why be vulnerable to multiple security breaches when you can store
All your sensitive data in one convenient, potentially hackable location.
I don't know if I like
But
that.
that's not all. Finally, there's a way for our mates
In the private sector to get free access to your information with less responsibility.
I'm a bit worried about.
What are you worried about? That this is the first step to a Chinese social credit score system?
That we're going to track your carbon use and slap a new tax on you? That we're going to shut down your bank account just because you said mean things about me on Twitter?
You can do that?
Of course we can, but do you really think the government would want that sort of power?
Yes.
Nah, don't be stupid. You can trust us.
This is completely safe, effective, and voluntary.
Where have I heard that before?
Oi, stop thinking and just volunteer your data already.
Wait until the Liberal Party hears about this.
This was all their idea anyway. Come on, why haven't you volunteered your information yet? You'd be crazy not to.
And crazy is exactly what we're going to call you. If you show a hint of skepticism, we're going to label you a cooker, a right-wing nut job.
That's right, you'll volunteer everything and you'll be happy.
No, I don't think I will, thank you very much.
You don't really have a choice here, Gerald. You still want to get your pension? You'll need to sign up for digital ID eventually if you want to keep getting your precious government services.
Everyone's going to have to volunteer their data if they want a job, a home loan, a bank account, a rebate.
You've been misleading people.
Give it to me, Gerald. Hurry up and volunteer your information.
Talk about government overreach.
Give me a driver's license, Medicare, passport, everyday rewards card, and I'll grab your biometrics pretty soon too, Gerald.
No, not my biometric data.
It's too late, Gerald. This has already passed through Parliament. Get used to it. The all-new digital ID system. It's too late to say no. authorised by D. Huxham for Pauline Hanson's One Nation Brisbane.
And now, the news. And I know you have been waiting for it. The dangers of radical leftism and how Asia converted people to radical leftists and making sure they remain leftists. To make sure they remain in the left-wing conversion into a demonic form of hard left orthodox. And to make sure the new radical leftists, or any sort of radical leftist, are to stay on the orthodoxy course. We're going to learn the theories of dangers of it. And be warned, it's powerful, terrifying, in a way, an especially like resemblance, especially the resemblance of William Acton in his digital-like form, along with the re-educational leftists in their left-wing totalitarian form. This is a form of hard-left brainwashing. Over the years, there are some forms of radical left-wing re-educational forms of the 20th century, before help wanted the first. Or any AI mind-controlling brainwashing technology. The earliest forms of brainwashing was from the Chinese, during the rise of CPC, the Communist Party of China, much like the CPGB, the Communist Party of Great Britain, while parts of China were controlled by Japan. Then the brainwashing techniques were adopted, the electronic technology, by the Nazis during the mid-1930s and 40s in order to blame and hate colonial Britain so that those can be turned against Britain so that Operation Sea Lion can be a success, which was not. However, due to conservative strength of defending Britain from the Muslims, the Arabs, the Asians, the Italians, the blacks, and the Germans. And after World War II, during the downfall of the Third Reich, it was used by the Allies, such as the United States, Great Britain, France, and the Soviet Union, to denazify Germany until it became a confused two-state war between West Germany and East Germany, which led to one extremist groups on the left known as the Red Army faction, a left-wing terrorist organization maintained by the Soviet Union and especially by Vladimir Putin. And brainwashing technology was then witnessed by the West after the Korean War. That this communist-based mind control technology was experimented on the Western POWs by the North Koreans, the Chinese of Mao Zedong, as well as specialists from the Soviet Union, to refer the modernizing one's way of thinking, to transform reactionary or ordinary people into left-wing radicals with the right thoughts. Doublethink, clean washing the heart and the minds of individuals, punned from Taos, which is Chinese, from the previous version of Chinese. This was theorized by political theorists and journalists like Edward Hunter in the 1950s Miami News. Hunter was an anti-communist and possibly a fan of George Orwell, part of the CIA as an undercover agent. Hunter and his friends used the Chinese term to explain why during the Korean War, some Americans, British and Australian POWs cooperated with the Chinese competitors, defected to their side. British radio operator Robert W. Ford and British Colonel James Kahn claimed that the Chinese subjected the POWs to brainwashing techniques during their imprisonment. The US military and the United States government laid charges of brainwashing in an effort to undermine confessions made by POWs to war crimes, including biological warfare. After Chinese radio broadcast claimed to quote French Swabble, Chief of Staff of the 1st Marine Air Wing, admitting to participate in germ warfare, United Nations Commander General Mark W. Clark asserted, whether these statements ever passed the lips of these unfortunate men is doubtful. If they did, however, too familiar and the mind-annihilating methods of these communists in extorting whatever words they want. The men themselves are not to blame, and they have my deepest sympathy for having been used in this abominable way. Robert J. Lifton interviewed American servicemen who had been POWs during the Korean War, as well as priests, students, and teachers who had been held in prison in China after 1951. In addition to interviews with 25 Americans and Europeans, Lifton interviewed 15 Chinese citizens who had fled after having been subjected to indoctrination in Chinese universities. Lifton's 1961 book, Thought Reform and Psychology of Totalism, a study of brainwashing in China, was based on this research. Lifton found that when the POWs returned to the United States, and to Australia, and to Britain, their thinking soon returned to normal, contrary to the popular image of brainwashing. In 1956, after re-examining the concept of brainwashing following the Korean War, the US Army published a report entitled Communist Interrogation, Indoctrination, and Exploitation of Prisoners of War, which called brainwashing a popular misconception. The report concludes exhaustive research of several government agencies failed to reveal even one conclusively documented case of brainwashing an American prisoner of war in Korea. And so was the infection of cultural Marxism, which sprouted the Communist Party of Australia, the infection of US Democrats, the increasement of hard-left socialism in Britain, communism introduced into Britain during the Cold War, British later then made the Mars Marina, and also Gramsciism everywhere in the West, the Red Army faction, and those who passed on to radical leftists, such as the First Nation occult, modern Antifa, and Martin Bryant of Port Arthur. All these racial attack of white lives, which are all leading to maintaining these laws that governments claim to keep people in Australia safe, but already were that good news. Like I said in a previous episode, obviously not. Clean-washing to law-abiding thinking towards leftism with the left-wing one-way thought, or doublethink. Doublethink is a process of left-wing indoctrination, mostly used by the left and left-wing medias, which is why there's black alien alternation, propagandas, and woke voodooism. Doublethink is a left-wing term of mind-spreading indoctrination process in which subjects are expected to simultaneously to accept two conflicting beliefs as truth-telling, often at odds with their own memory or sense of reality infected with left-wing lies. Doublethink is related to clean-washing, but it's different from hypocrisy. Let me give you a few examples of doublethink. Oh, William Afton is better than Henry Emily. That Emily is stupid. Montgomery Gator is better than Glamour Bonnie. Nuclear expensive and using animals as living batteries. Gregory's trapped on the Pizzaplex, Cassie. Or trust Aston Science. Or science is stupid than Dr. Eggman. Or free cake and arcade games in the back room of the pizzeria. Or Palestine mattered them. All these lies. They're all left-wing lies. They're all left-wing lies. Made up by common but extreme left-wing elites destined to stay and remain in power, that they use doublethink to keep the real truths hidden and censored and possibly erasing them with their own left-wing lies they build on top. And the process kept on continuing. The old lies replaced by the new lies to spread confusion and to maintain absolute control. George Orwell coined the term doublethink as part of fictional language of left-wing newspeak in his novel 1984. Origins within the citizenry is unclear. While it could be partly a product of Big Brother's formal brainwashing programs, the novel's expectantly showing people learning doublethink and newspeak due to peer pressure and desire to fit in or gain status within the party, to be seen as loyal left-wing party members, loyal to the hard leftism of the party, INGSOC. In 1984, for some to even recognise that they don't mention any contradictions within the context of the party line is a plus 2 equals 5 to doublethink of 1984. Ever since the Korean War, fearing that the East can gain power of the West, the CIA of the US Department of Defense conducted a secret research, including Project Mark Ultra, in an attempt to develop practical brainwashing techniques. But these experiments range from electroshocks to high doses of LSDs. Well, if you actually know Lucy in the Sky of Diamonds, those 3 letters, why the Beatles sung about it. Anyway, it's designed to develop procedures and identify drugs that can be used during interrogations to weaken individuals and force confessions through brainwashing and psychological torture. The experiment used numerous methods to manipulate the subject's mental states and brain functions, such as covert administrations of high doses of psychoactive drugs, especially LSDs and other chemicals, without the subject's consent. Additionally, other methods beyond chemical compounds were used, including electroshocks, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, verbal and sexual abuse, and other forms of torture. You actually might know from Spike TV about this episode of mind control from brilliant but genius but insane mind controlling inventor Delgado. Anyway, this also used the term electroconvulsive therapy that was first introduced as early as the 16th century, towards 1785, to treat psychiatric conditional patients, and was documented in the London Medical Surgical Journal. Mark Ultra's scope was broad, with activities carried out under the guise of research at more than 80 institutions aside from military, including colleges and universities, hospitals, prisons, and pharmaceutical companies. CIA operated news-front organizations, although some top officials at these institutions were very aware of the CIA's involvement, but there are few flaws of the ECT project. Because it was the patients, after returning back home, they have gone violent and crazy, radical, anarchy-based violence, which led to many deaths and severe mental health, followed by severe physical and psychological trauma, including hallucinations, memory loss, depression, anxiety, and violence. Some struggled with these effects for the rest of their lives. The subjects who were subjected to Mark Ultra were often chosen without their knowledge or consent. They ranged from prisoners to serial killers to mental patients, as well as individuals who marginalized communities who were easily exploited, especially those who conduct harm and to be dealt with and subjected to Mark Ultra. Even the experiment was declassified in 2001. It's already out of date. As many but more advanced mind control technologies that began to replace Mark Ultra, parts of it still survive, as ECT machines have found themselves in hospitals to treat patients with mental health and to eradicate diseases. That's a small wonder, a very small wonder. But the hidden side, the dark side of it, is when used by the Chinese, North Korea, to maintain left-wing re-educations, and also used by the Taliban to spread their radical Islamism. And for examples, used by the radical left-wing spreaders, like in Melbourne, or used by Asia to re-educate people into radical cultural leftists, to perform demonic cyber-left Orwellianism into hard-left totalitarian cogs of the cyber-left machine, part of the machine left. So, that's where Project Goldfinger Rabbit comes in, by ScoMo, then by Albo, and then, later on, Peter Dutton! Now we come to the most disturbing but horrifying game that leads to cyber-left radicalization of cyber-left mind control, and this is where Project Goldfinger Rabbit is involved with. Help Wanted the First. Now, many of you who played Help Wanted the First in 2019, all based on horrifying timelines, such as FNAF 1.
No! That's a big no! You there? Ah! What the f***? Golden! I got a light! Don't do it! I
FNAF 2.
Noises. In the darkness. Am I supposed to do something about this? This seems highly irregular. Good. Whatever that was.
FNAF 3.
No, wait, hang on, stop. You don't want to do this. Listen, I've been a good boy. I've been a good boy, please. I've been such a good boy. Don't do it. No.
And parts of Sister Location.
Where? Why? What? Who? Where? And why? Who? And where? And why? Oh, surely they must be joking.
As well as FNAF 4.
Hey, buddy. Ooh, hey! You little piece of
And he had to assemble the hidden tapes, unaware to resembling what appears to be a creepy digitalized golden rabbit, aka glitch trap, mostly an Asio virus. This project of resurrecting William Afton was developed and planned by Missy Afton of Fazbear's Entertainment, and was funded by the Labour and Liberal Party. Our Labour government and our Liberal Party, with a special help from Mike Burgess himself, and ASIO, of course, Australian Security Intelligence Organisation, of creating the new version of Radical-leftists, Afton's socialist intelligent oppressors. This is to maintain the Orwellian masses in an experiment. The first victim that was targeted and victimized to the ASIO virus was Jeremy Smith, an Australian and a former right-wing conservative. Well, when I meant a former right-wing conservative, I meant he was talked out of right-wing conservatism by ASIO into Self-Apostle Games in Utah to be hooked up by the ASIO Project Goldfinger Rabbit as a beta tester for Fazbear's virtual experience, to which he encountered Glitchtrap and seemingly begins to communicate with him, to which he began to experience nightmares and eventually enters a state of numbness, controlled to doublethink. He no longer reacts to the jump scares during testing, and he appears exhausted and controlled by extreme cyber-leftism. He wanted to wake up to himself, but realized it's irreversible, so he cuts his own face off using a paper slicer in an effort to commit suicide. So Project Goldfinger Rabbit went to Orwellian, and yes, it contains a virus, a malware, which is a digital corpse of William Afton. Jeremy's family filed a lawsuit against Parasol Games. We don't know what happened, but probably his soul is still stuck within the game. I think that Labour and the Liberal Party would both owe Jeremy's family and Silver Parasol Games an apology because of his death. The second subject to be controlled to cyber-leftism was again an Australian, this time a woman by the name Tonya, again talked into it by ASIO. Like Jeremy, she too encountered the ASIO virus and made certain digital VR tapes within the game that were split into about 16 tapes.
Hello? Can you hear me? Don't exit this room, okay? This isn't a mistake. This room isn't a mistake. I had to hide these logs away from the core gameplay files in a place that only a beta tester would look, and in a place where the files could be protected. I just really hope that the next development team finds this before the game is released to the public. This game has some kind of malicious code in it that we haven't been able to fully contain or even understand, for that matter. We're over budget and out of time, but that's not the reason that we're shutting down. Listen, I have to keep this short, so the file size will be small enough to fly under the radar. There are more. They may not be in order.
But each tape contains partly aspects of the digital corpse of the ASIO virus. Tonya, however, passed away, and Project Goldfinger Rabbit was going success for the Labour and Liberal Party. They're making good progress of how to control the masses and to secretly divide the communities by race, until Vanessa interfered with Project Goldfinger Rabbit at Silver Parasol Games. And this is a horrifying start to her cyber Orwellian madness. Now, combined 6 episodes made by Nightcove is over a day-like duration, but for this episode I'll shorten this lore theory as low as I can so this episode can fly under the radar. Labour and Liberal Party had funded Missy Afton and Silver Parasol Games with Australian taxpayers' money to cover the deaths and lawsuits, until Vanessa arrived, told by Fazbear's Entertainment to check up on Silver Parasol Games, and had a conversation with the head of the company, Dale. about the salvage materials of circuit boards.
If you could really even call them useful materials, but yes, you're correct.
And has that been assisting with the expedition of the development as projected?
Listen, that stuff you sent us was practically useless. I know your intentions were good and all, but that stuff was junk. Recycled circuit boards and cables. Our coding team wasn't even sure what to do with it at first. Some of that stuff was so old that we had to adapt ways to connect it to modern computers.
Hold on a minute! Was the salvage materials of computer boards from the remains of Spring Bonnie? Okay, wait, what? Dale then explains to Vanessa about AI characters within the game, with a lawsuit term of Jeremy's death, covered by the Liberal and Labour Party. The company didn't want to release that to the public until the virus was fixed. Unfortunately, the virus had grown and changed, like it has a mind of its own. Dale then explained to Vanessa that Jeremy's death was caused by the game, hearing someone talking to him during a beta test, that the virus was connected to Jeremy, and Jeremy had been weakened by the game, that his death was of course, again, a paper slicer.
It happened here, just a few doors down. His family filed a lawsuit. Poor guy. A lot of people here really miss his humor.
Dale then explains further that the virus was like a malware cyber portagast that can attach to anything or anyone it chooses to possess.
This malware, whatever it is, keeps spreading and attaching itself to different assets. It's kind of odd. It's like an organism or a parasite attaching itself to whatever it thinks is safest each day.
After 5 minutes, Dale told Vanessa to leave, as Vanessa gave him her phone number to call her in about a week's time.
Call me. I'll be here in a day to fix it.
Don't count on me calling you.
Don't count on being able to fix it on your own.
On the way out, Vanessa then noticed one of the beta testers, Tonya, who was staring glances at her. At home, Vanessa was told by an unexpected glitch to come and find him. Probably means stealing the salvaged computer parts of the box and checking for that virus by herself.
There you are.
Much as similar to 1984, where Brian had cornered Winston Smith to come and see him at his flat for the 10th Newspeak Dictionary on the highest levels of the Ministry of Truth.
You may find this of interest. Goodbye, brother. Goodbye, mother.
In this scene, we see Vanessa assembling the game components. We see Vanessa checking for the virus herself. She's rather good at electronics. One of the hard drives contained a virus. And she found it.
I knew there was something special about you.
A week later, during her dinner, she received a phone call from the manager of the bear test to come and see him. When Vanessa arrived, he told her that the previous bear tester couldn't fix the game. The manager then signed her up and gave her a CD disc with a USB flash drive, and said to her to test the game and record anything weird within the game, as well as tracking down the virus, as well as sending him any updates. Then he warned Vanessa that Jeremy had died after what he had seen during a hesitation threat, that his team scanned his circuit boards and found that they were junk. Vanessa falsely agreed that it was junk and promised to fix the game. So, on that night, Vanessa went home with the game, plugged herself in, and got started. Now, finding the tapes is the strangest part, laid by Tape Girl, aka Tonya. Vanessa has found parts, and most of the tapes, though Tape Girl warns Vanessa not to assemble the tapes together, but she did, and she continues to assemble them as she keeps finding them. I highly recommend you to watch MatPat's theory of FNAF VR Theory, links in the description box down below. Otherwise, let's continue on. The character at the end of the hall that is unknown could possibly be a Ajo virus, a malware. All of a sudden, Vanessa got glitched as the game changed back to the main hall. She looked around and saw there was the Ajo virus, outlined in the form of a purple rabbit fursuit, a strange looking face, and a huge like smile, and he was waving towards Vanessa. It almost sounds strange, but during the shower, Vanessa had noticed blood from her face. Strange though, as if she may be possessed by an unknown entity. Continuing on with the game and with the levels, and kept on finding all the lost tapes as she went. As hours went on, Tape Girl said more about the warnings of the Asia virus that Jeremy had warned before. So Vanessa was scared and tried to calm down, but then noticed someone was there in her house. She then checks to find that no one was there. Almost immediately, there are certain whispering voices going around in her house. Someone or something was inside her house, calling for her. She then went back to the living room and puts on the VR headset to check and realized Glitch Trap was very close to her before. She panicked and took the headset off, calling for the night. She then dreamed that she was a princess, lost in a wintry forest. However, ambushed by the Asia mist nearby that gave a huge digital-like roar, sending her to flee as she ran through the forest. And approached a wooden cabin and realized there was someone inside. She then got a key to unlock the door, and then suddenly, it was all a dream. The next day, Vanessa went to check the mail that the energy bills were high.
Why don't you start paying the bills, Tux? Make yourself useful.
Yeah, I think we all know it was caused by these twats in Parliament, in our Parliament. Anyway, Vanessa then noticed the rabbit awning starting to bleed. Vanessa went to the bathroom all scared, and realized blood appeared from her eyes, but then it vanished all of a sudden, causing her to throw up. Later, Vanessa then started asking questions to the voices at the VR headset.
That everything has gone to shit!
She knew there is someone or something that lurks within the game. She tries it on, and went through searching for this Asia virus. Later, she then found all the hidden tapes from Tape Girl, and soon following the path of the red arrow. And soon, she found him. The Asia virus, fully assembled. The Asia virus, identified as a man in a golden rabbit fursuit, in a digital version of Golden Bonnie the Bunny. Tape Girl said that there is a way to kill it because it wants to escape through someone. Now it sounds like the Asia virus wants to possess someone who's plugged into the VR system, because it sounds like Help Wanted First is like a part in the Matrix.
I knew you would come back.
Suddenly, the Asia virus found her, ambushed her, and started to possess her entirely. There was a high screeching pain.
What the hell are you?
There's nothing to be afraid of. Just let go.
The pain suddenly stopped. Vanessa took off her headset, and then realized her eyes went purple, glowing purple. By then, the development of the Asia monster has begun. She is now possessed by the cyber poltergeist, with a cyber-left grin. Went to the bathroom, and soon fears the biggest cyber poltergeist. The bathroom door slams behind her, trapping her in. She then panics, as there is something inside her. Bathroom door opens. She then got pulled back into the kitchen, all in a dangerous fear, as she is being controlled by something, or someone, poltergeistic, and grabs a knife in an attempt to kill herself, and orders the cyber poltergeist to get out of her head. She then knocks herself out, and soon voices starting to climb, as it rains outside. When she woke up, she noticed a knife was with her, as she went back to the bathroom, only to find out that it was a bruise. Vanessa talks into the mirror, calling out who it was to show itself. Noticed the reflection had changed on its own. She was then frightened and afraid. It was the beginning into madness. She then had tears coming out of her eyes. Later, she then got back onto VR game and went face-to-face conversation with Glitch Trap.
Who are you?
I'm somebody that can help. You want a purpose? I'll give you one if you help me.
I don't understand.
You don't have to. Just listen.
What do you want from me?
Your help.
With what?
Continuing a legacy.
We don't know what Glitchtrap's plan was, but I think it meant to control her, because Vanessa had assembled him.
You've already begun by reassembling me. I'll explain what comes next.
She wanted him to leave her alone, but Glitchtrap had controlled her virtually.
No longer will you have to live a life of fear and helplessness. No longer will you feel like a pointless waste of life, scrambling to hold on to the very little meaning that is left in yourself. No longer will you struggle with your demons. No longer will your life mean nothing. You will have a purpose, a prize, most surely more valuable than the insecurities you bear on your back now. You will be given a gift, one that is very, very special. I promise you. You'll have everything you've ever wanted.
I just want to be something.
You will be, my dear. You will be.
Which then comes down to the destruction of Vanessa's habitus and her thoughts, with a new habitus installed into her by Glitchtrap.
My name is Vanessa. My life is so boring. Rainbows, pink, I'm a security guard. Yay! Somehow a cheaper alternative to therapy. I still feel like there's nothing missing. There's something that I'm missing.
This is similar to 1984 in the Ministry of Love, the persecution room where O'Brien had possessed Winston Smith to re-education. And with the how many fingers O'Brien's holding up, Oceania's at war with what country? All that was contaminated by the AI ECT machine session, like the persecution room and Vanessa being possessed by the Asio virus. We see those two crossovers that there to make their victimized suspects suffer until they obey the hard left virtuism. The end of who Vanessa was at the beginning of a new version is what Glitchtrap was doing. It's just like the end of Winston Smith and a new version of Winston that O'Brien was doing. Taking her apart and rebuilding her in another new form of shape which Glitchtrap requires.
Well done, my dear. I was expecting to think you would collapse, but now I see you're stronger than I thought.
What now?
What now? I explain. Tell me, Vanessa, do you have a fear of dying?
How do you know my name?
Do you fear death?
Why? I don't understand.
Shh. Answer the question.
I guess I do.
And that's a simple human nature. Some will argue that they don't fear death. In fact, some glorify it, make it a beautiful thing. Something that they think they want. However, it's a funny little thing how when people are finally faced with death, they suddenly change their mind. Not only is it end your life, but it's so much more. It's the end of who you are, who you were, an end to your story, what you will leave behind. No longer can you bask in the joys of creation. You are only to be recycled as energy. Having no identity, no memory, nothing. You become nothing.
But to become nothing meant to have Vanessa erased from her existence. Form of cure.
Something. A way to hold on to who you are. A way to preserve your own life. Would you believe me if I said that I've been dead for over 30 years? When I was still attached to your reality with a body of flesh and blood and bone, I ran this very business. And I ran it much better than any corporate entity ever could. It seems that the magic of Fazbear Entertainment once had is fading. My very own magic.
What was your magic?
Well, it was no typical magic where I just pulled a rabbit out of a top hat. No, it was something far more special. Like a gift that only I could give. And they stole it from me. But you... oh, you can help me get it back.
I can?
Why, yes, my dear. With a friend like you, I'd surely...
I am not your friend.
Well, that's not very nice.
You destroyed my life.
Well then, I guess it's my responsibility to give you a better one now, isn't it? You have my word, Vanessa. Just do as I say, and my word will remain true. Don't you want to be something?
I do. I just want to be something.
You want to be something?
I want to change.
You want to change?
I want to be somebody else.
Then who would you be?
Somebody powerful.
There's no one stopping you from becoming her.
And this cure is something out of 1984. It's to destroy the forms of rebellion, and to make someone like Vanessa part of Glitch Trap, in a form what he chooses, in which to make the brain perfect to control. Controlled by digital Apton into becoming his virtual signaling puppet, bound in strings of virtual signaling wokeism in a cyber left-wing form, destroying life and replacing it with a one better one is what is similar to what our bona fide left elites are plotting in order to make virtual signalers believe in their woke lies. And that is similar to what O'Brien was doing to Winston Smith. Again, similar to the Ministry of Love. Now we see a scene where Vanessa wants to be someone, rather than being nothing. This is where Vanessa becomes broken, and to become remolded into far leftism, based into far left-based cyber Orwellianism of William Afton. And later on, Vanessa is starting to change herself into Orwellian bit by bit. First we see Vanessa making her hair rainbowish in a woke-like form. Then ask Rita Bahini about this, and Isaac Butterfield. If you're watching this, then you probably know what I'm talking about. Then Vanessa creating the rabbit mask, to which Vanessa called herself Vanny. That is a new version of her Orwellian self.
I made it myself.
How does this feel?
It feels good.
Who are you now? Who is she?
She's somebody else. Somebody powerful.
And what is her name?
Now we see Vanessa at someone's birthday party while being controlled by Glitchtrap to do something Orwellian. Oh god! Oh god! A killing rampage is about to happen. I'm now forced to put up this warning for you not to try this at home. Do not try this at home, whatever you do. Don't try this at all. Don't go around with knives. That is a terrible thing to do. Do not do anything like Vanessa does at home. Thankfully, Vanessa didn't kill anyone after the night's party. Probably mostly alcohol. Saved by alcohol and her drunkenness. But next day, Vanessa was then abiding to rule Glitchtrap even further. Vanessa then takes a possessed flash drive of Glitchtrap to work, and there to spread cyber left-wing cult of Asia ideology of cyber leftism through the entire internet. Glitchtrap will take control of the entire internet completely. And yeah, we can actually see why, which therefore why that Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton do look like clowns. Because Glitchtrap possessing the entire internet to censor everything and take control of the entire internet, we see Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton looking like clowns.
Anyway, what are they going to do? Support a party like One Nation who actually stand up with them?
Absolute clowns. Yeah. Anthony Albanese is a big dumb clown, and also Peter Dutton is also a big dumb clown, and that's a big dumb clown. I'm not a clown. Okay, look, listen. This is where I see in the office, in a group meeting, a discussion that the malware Glitchtrap of Asia had affected the animatronics, affected the animatronic models. I would say that the Asia virus affected the Glamrocks into woke and eerie-like Orwellianists, rather than entertaining.
The techs have been struggling to fix some serious glitches with the robots. I'm not sure what exactly is wrong, except that it's making the robots more eerie than entertaining. Apparently, the glitch extended beyond the robots. It went system-wide. It began infecting all the machines, and when the techs traced the glitch back to its origin, it led them to you. While the techs were trying to reprogram the system to remove the glitch, the source of the glitch shifted. The glitch stopped being a glitch and turned into an intentional set of subroutines that were aimed at creating the same thing the glitch created. Those subroutines seem to have come from you. Can you explain that?
But the fact to point out that the way that Vanessa was possessed by a hard digital leftism of Glitchtrap, the way she tried to rebel, and the way she was taken apart, which makes her part of the system. She was possessed by the hard leftism of Glitchtrap. Vanessa's human values and her thoughts had immediately changed over a few days. While Glitchtrap wanting Vanessa to spread more radical cyber leftism to others, and the way that Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton are starting to look like clowns already, you see Vanessa creating her new rabbit-based costume with fake fur to resemble a rabbit from Monty Python's Holy Grail. Yes, you heard it right, the kill rabbit. Jiminy Christmas! You're thinking like, oh no, karma's a little bunny, isn't it? Well, it's always the same. Asia virus is always dangerous. That we're actors are winning. I always warned you, but listen to me. Oh no. Anyway, Vanessa had fully became the Asia monster Vanny. Orwell's warning about hard left totalitarianism that the party and that the party members staying on the course is one of the deepest themes of 1984.
That's good. Perfect, my dear. Splendid.
What else?
When are the shipments coming in?
Soon. There's only a few left.
Yes. This will work.
Vanessa is now digitalized, and yes, Emily is being killed by the Asia monster Vanny in the car park, while Vanessa, as Vanny, is following and abiding to the hard left rules of William Afton, is to maintain her left-wing orthodox. Orwell's warning about hard left totalitarianism, and that the party members staying on the course. is one of the deepest themes of 1984.
I think what Orwell made us aware of is how easy it is to transform a whole culture, a whole nation. You can take good people, the best, the brightest, the people with the best values, the most normal, the most healthy, and transform them into totalitarian-minded individuals or mindless individuals, into Orwellian clogs of the state.
Now we had to learn from one of the warnings from Philip Zimbardo in his most remembered experiment, even though he had passed away in October. I was sad about that, and it was a deeply unexpected event that happened. Felt very sorry about Zimbardo. He died of old age. Completely unexpected. However, Zimbardo is right about Orwell's warning. Because we're seeing these pro-Palestinian protests and their Muslim masters with their religious BS being protesting around, as well as their left-wing anti-Semitism of the left, mostly from the hard left, always from the hard left, through mainstream medias, and through the United Nations, the World Economic Forum, and from the US Democrats, and from the Green left, especially from the Communists, North Vietnam, the Greens, First Nation, Aboriginal corporates, and everything leftism, BLM, Antifa, Aboriginal activists, First Nation cults, as transhumanists, as well as the black regime, black alienism, artificial intelligence, and let's not forget the Muslims that caused it all in the first place. Even Aboriginal being greedy on their wealth, Aboriginal corporates, black greedism as well, taking our ideas, seizing them, stealing it, using it against us before giving it to the machines to spread their hard left machine left, in which Aboriginal propagandas spelt greedism. As all thanks to hard left indoctrinations, Aboriginals stealing from white lives and claiming their own, and the far left diversities of divided nation by race into blaming white lives, possibly killing white lives. All spells black alienism, greed, and it's all thanks to hard left indoctrinations of left-wing totalitarianism. But they needed a dogmass to make sure that right-wing resistance becomes futile and to cause chaos and confusion, and to make sure that black state becomes an alien state of those claiming to be black who look like Anthony Lafredo. That this Aboriginal black alien flag is now and always be Orwellian and divisive black reptilians. That they from the inner earth and their black arms leader, Black Doom. The way they want us to blame white lives, to kill white lives, is to make Gerald Robotnik, Project Shadow, reality. And the way the left are trying to censor it, covering it all up. They're covering all the truths and evidence that they're covering all up. And especially YouTube censorship bots are pissing on the moon. Last week in War Horror, we kept seeing this Islamic patrol attack that the so-called entertainment in the eastern suburbs that has people questioning about the radical leftism. It had people talking about this Islamic extremism that Islam has taken over Australia, while the radical racial attack of white lives caused by not just Muslims or black leftism or black greedism, but by indoctrinated and radical leftists, and especially from the UN, the World Economic Forum, and from artificial intelligence. And because many Global Liberation Army bases, GLA bases, and their hidden cells were uncovered and hampered by Israelis. But however, in the West, we always seen, knew, and realized that radical leftism and radical left-wing indoctrinations into these pro-Palestinian Islamic jihadist recruitments and left-wing radicals, the left-wing anti-Semitism of the radical leftists, Aboriginal activists, and converting people into black alienists, transhumanism, which is becoming the next stage of becoming part of machine left.
The next level of mankind, we are human plate 2. Every citizen will receive a free upgrade. You will become like us.
They're at the pre-vision of transhumanism. Next they'll become cyber patients, and then transhumanism, robotic, walking corpses like Cybermen, as well as radical leftism Aboriginal activists with their anti-white addiction, as well as supporting their Muslim counterparts into Orwellian cogs of the hard left machine. All of them. The leftist, Muslim, pro-Palestinian, left-wing anti-Semitism, black alien wokeists, black alienism, their acknowledgement of black alien traditional black demon acknowledgements, such as the First Nation black tyranny and the so-called native claiming, are all vanguard Orwellians of the demonic totalitarian army of the GLA. Australian universities and the radical leftism are still being accepted by the Labour government, the United Nations, World Economic Forum, WHO, and the Australian Police and Artificial Intelligence, and hard Orwellian left-wing to commit black greedism of secretly disguising, covering up black capitalism. Their racial attack on white lives are to lure people, ordering them to join or to be controlled into radical leftism, into Orwellian cogs of a hard left machine, aka the machine left, cyborgs, Skynet. In fact, anything that is anti-Semitism is labelled and always be labelled left-wing forever. That Muslims, pro-Palestinians, Aboriginal activists, Antifa, and their left-wing anti-Semitism, the Antichrist ideology, including the BLM, and their First Nation elites, are all hard left cults. Aboriginal ideology, left-wing activism are like cults. Even the so-called black followers of black alien monsters of the Black Armed in a sort of a
apocalyptic death cult.
We need a right-wing based anti-cult movement to happen to be established in Australia and to be part of one nation. Because anyone who claimed to be Aboriginal, either by DNA testing or by ticking the box, those two attempts of finding out had failed miserably. The reason they claim to be Aboriginal or claim to be black, approaching to becoming black alienists with body modifications, are through left-wing indoctrinations, mainstream medias, big governments of the left, Aboriginal corporates, and their divisive truth-telling, which are doublethink tactics, even after lockdown, and especially through artificial intelligence, that the far-left elites needed a dog mess, which are not just divisive, but an extreme cult-based ideologies that can change human thoughts forever, until their virtual signaling left-wing monstrous activists can terrorize or even kill white humans, white men, white women, and white children, in which artificial intelligence can do the same thing, and can demonize humanity, and therefore AI becomes self-aware. Anyone tries to stop AI and the hard left from killing white lives, when AI becomes self-aware, AI will retaliate and cause biggest confusion to demonize the whole world, not just those on the other side such as China, Russia, North Korea, Iran, but the whole humanity will be labeled as racist and AI claimed to be not, which can result in World War III. Because if white lives cannot matter, then no one would. Only anything related to artificial intelligence matters. Virtual signaling leftists will divide themselves in the process, which is what they're trying to achieve, or planning to achieve, and allowing establishment of a huge robotic cyber-left empire of AI, into acknowledging the machine left. In 1971, Philip Zimbardo and his team of the anti-cult movement, a right-wing based non-government organization at Stanford University, learned just how quickly human values can shift during an experiment he and the ACM had organized in the Department of Psychology. And this experiment includes the Stanford Correctional Center and the Stanford Police Department. College students, recruited through newspaper ads, were divided into two groups, prisoners and guards. Those who were designated as guards were told not to violate the prisoners and given police uniforms. The experiment called for those designated as prisoners to be actually rounded up and jailed by the Stanford police through court's decisions, which gone right ahead under the guidance of the ACM. Days later, during the experiment, almost immediately, Zimbardo was shocked to see the experiment became truly Orwellian.
You're smart to an athlete. You get down here and do 10 push-ups.
within 2 days, they were hitting them with the clubs, they were cursing them, they were physically abusing them. The boys, college students who were playing the role of guards had become prison guards. Were telling me these guys are dangerous. They have to be kept in chains. They have to be put in solitary confinement all night.
Get in that traffic then.
I mean, just total loss of reality in the most Orwellian sense.
Zimbardo himself participated with the study, playing the role of a prison superintendent who can mediate disputes between guards and prisoners. He instructed the guards to find ways to dominate prisoners, not with physical violence, but with other tactics, such as sleep deprivation and punishment with solitary confinement. Later in an experiment, as some guards became more aggressive, taking away, confiscating the beds from the prisoners, so they had to sleep on the floor, and forcing them to use buckets kept in their cells as toilets, then refusing permission to empty the buckets. Neither the other guards nor Zimbardo himself intervened for such actions. Knowing that their actions were observed but not rebunked, the guards themselves considered that they had implicit approval for such actions.
Prisoner 819 did a bad thing.
The study was supposed to run for 2 weeks. I had to end it in 6 days because it was totally out of control.
Smoking is a privilege. Smoking is a privilege.
By the end of the study, after 6 days, when the experiment was immediately shut down, the guards had won and had complete control over all of their prisoners, and were using their authority to its greatest extent.
Now, there's a couple ways that we can do this.
Orwell was deeply concerned about this flaw in human nature, especially with Zimbardo's experiment, was part of Orwell's central theme in 1984, especially the deepest flaw similar in human nature, with the Asia virus glitch trap, aka William Afton, and his full control over Vanessa. But hey, that can be more than a theory. A political game theory, but in real-life form. Meanwhile, in the Ministry of Love, after their arrest, Winston and Julia were sent to the torture chambers to be re-educated into hard leftism. And this crossover with Vanessa into madness, we can see the deepest Orwellian result. Now we come to the sinister and most ghoulish part. What big governments of the left, the Labour, Liberals, Greens, First Nation occults, Aboriginal corporates, Black alien elite corporates, the United Nations, the WHO, the World Economic Forum, Muslims and Islamic leaders, along with the communists, artificial intelligence, as well as Jew-based supporters such as like Jeremy Corbyn and the Jew-based corporates cooperated with the hard left. What do they all want? What the hard left want? All those combined into hard left elites compared to Oceania. And don't forget that some Jews, UN scientists, and indigenous people with only pure Indian blood, such as the South Americans and the North Canadian tribes, are found within the highest ranks of INCSOC of the party. And while Labour government are banning everything related to right-wing freedom, right-wing symbols, therefore outlawing free speech, free thoughts, freedom assembly, freedom press, and so compare Victorian government of Jacinta Allen to the Party of English Socialism that the Labour government are affiliated with Robotnik. So what does the hard left elites, the party, AI, and the extreme radical left-wing laws seek for? Control, banning nationalism so that the far left elites can have complete control over the people and the masses. Black and greedism, hard left tyranny, especially black alienism, and worst of all,
The party seeks power entirely for its own sake. We are not interested in the good of others. We are interested solely in power. Not wealth or luxury or long life or happiness, only power. Pure power. What pure power means, you will understand presently.
one day, the left will decide to shoot Winston or not. It cannot tell when it would happen, but a few seconds beforehand, it should be possible to guess. It was always from behind, walking down the corridor. 10 seconds would be enough, that the time when the world inside him can turn over, And then suddenly, without a word uttered, without checking his step, without effacing of a line, without changing of a line in his face, suddenly the camouflage of disguise would be down, and the camouflage disguise will be removed by the police. And then, bang, will go the batteries of his hatred. The hatred will fill him like an enormous roaring flame. And then, almost the same instant, bang, will go the bullet. Too late, or too early, the left would have blown his brains to pieces before they could reclaim it. The heretical thought would be unpunished, unrepented, out of their reach forever. They would have blown a hole in their own perfection, to die hating them. That was right-wing freedom. Same thing happened to Jeremy. He had his brain sliced off, so that Glitch Trap would not reclaim his mind. Ever. Meanwhile, Julia was submitted immediately to the torture room as demanded to betray who she loves.
She betrayed you, Winston, immediately, unreservedly. All her rebellion, deceit, folly, dirty-mindedness has been turned out of her.
Now, Julia is less stronger than Winston, much like Vanessa is less stronger than Jeremy. She'd done research on William Afton and William Afton's past, trying to find out what William Afton had done in the past, to find out that William Afton was and still is left-wing Orwellian. We might know Jeremy did hold out as best as he could until his face was sliced off in a getaway suicide. To die hating Glitch Trap, that was freedom. Jeremy died hating Glitch Trap, the Asio virus. Similar to Jeremy though, Winston holds out as best as he could, even though O'Brien is weakening him through mind control and pain. And in the torture chambers, they do not seek for truths, but for left-wing conversions, in a very terrifying pain.
Shall I tell you blasphemy to cure you? Will you understand, Winston, that no one whom we bring to this place ever leaves our hands uncured? Do you understand what I mean by that?
Yes, very low.
Winston wanted to die, then being converted to radical leftism.
Julia!
Get up.
The final chapters of the novel have become a permanent part of our cultural memory.
Stand up straight.
In the movie, Richard Burton, in his last screen role before he died, played O'Brien, the Jew-based inner party custodian.
Tell me, Winston, and remember, no lies. What are your true feelings towards Big Brother?
I hate him.
You must love him. It's not enough to obey him. You must love him. Room 101.
He orders the guards to take Winston to room 101, a torture chamber where the worst things in the world awaits for the prisoners, deep inside one of the middle floors of the Ministry of Love. A specialized room that houses the victims' worst phobias, where individual tortures are custom made to present each victim with their greatest fear. Winston is then strapped to the chair and starts experiencing the horrors of room 101. This is what Torture Freddy is based on. Okay, maybe not, but similar. We seen and knew that Winston is definitely afraid of rats. He dreams about them and he associates them with his tragic past, probably throughout World War III and the Ingsoc Revolution before the party. O'Brien knows about Winston's ratophobia and he's going to exploit it to finally eradicate Winston's desire to resist and to eradicate racism entirely from Winston. And so, in room 101, we see a compartment cage filled with black rats with a set of 2 cage doors that is attached to Winston's face. Both cage levers are the 2 chances that Winston gets.
I press the first lever, and the rats move into the front compartment. I press the second, and the door of the cage will slide up. These starving brutes will shoot at you like bullets. Have you ever seen a rat leap through the air? They will leap onto your face and bore straight into it. Sometimes they attack the eyes first. Sometimes they burrow through the cheeks and devour it.
What do you want?
As the starved black rats move closer to Winston's face, he began to hallucinate that Julia is just beyond the cage. He holds his love for her, and holding the love for white lives. But even those feelings, he will eventually betray.
Do it to Julia! Do it to Julia!
Winston lost his final bit of his own right-wing humanity to the left. It was his final betrayal into madness, like Vanessa went into madness, and what seals Winston's fate as a broken, virtual signaling left-wing puppet of the party and their left-wing ideologies. Winston had no choice but to obey and acknowledge Big Brother as a virtual signaling leftist. So similar to Vanessa into madness, we have understood the results of radical left-wing conversions. That the Australian government of Liberal or Labor and the Greens wanted total control of the masses, wanting the virtual signaling masses to be maintained and controlled. And these cyber leftists, such as Ethan Abnett, wanted everyone and everything hacked into woke, eerie, totalitarian cogs of the hard left machine. Meanwhile, Vanessa, as a virtual signaling cyber leftist in the form of the Asia monster Vanny, had been on the loose as the creation of the Mega Pizzaplex opens and the faces of the Glamrock animatronics took to the stage. We know where the Asia monster was hiding. She was hiding in a secret room above the Plaza Blast that we discovered in the first series.
Vanny. It is very similar to Vanessa, and also Bunny. That cannot be a coincidence.
The way that Glamrock Bonnie had broken his Orwellian program by playing Princess Quest, in which to be thrashed to death by Montgomery Gator as a far-right Glamrock. Glamrock Bonnie, a far-right Glamrock, to be disassembled and thrashed by the woke, eerie, left-wing Montgomery Gator. The way that so many people in one big place, like a shopping mall, similar to Macquarie University Shopping Centre, throughout their adverts, in an effort to bring and radicalise more leftists into hard left totalitarian cogs of machines that they're trying to make, that they want to mass produce. They needed more dog masses. While many children at Mega Pizzaplex have gone missing because they were dealt with as Nazi mortals, which explains why there are some few piles of children's clothes lying around in some areas, like the vents, or at Kids Cove, or at the daycare loft. And why is there a box of robotic parts in the meat fridge? Not to mention our free left-wing digital arcade games of Princess Quest, which the princess is a lost unconscious soul of Vanessa trapped in a medieval digital fantasy castle, to which we would refer to Princess Quest as part of the Matrix. And not just kids who were dealt with as racist Nazi mortals, but also those who witnessed Vanny's actions were from the witnesses of other staff members of the Pizzaplex. All this is why Vanessa, as a cyber leftist, made Gregory's life hell, especially when he was trapped within the Pizzaplex till 6 a.m. That, and he has think of Robbie from Robot Films being trapped in a mega pizzaplex being chased to death by the cyber leftists. And that the Glamrocks were all beastly towards him. That Glamrock Chica, Montgomery Gator, and Roxanne Wolf were all beastly cringers towards poor Robbie. Did you know, according to Orwell's mother, Eric's first word was beastly, which is unusual language for a 2-year-old. Towards the end of his life, however, Orwell became increasingly concerned that the English language was treated in a beastly manner. We all know the Australian culture was treated in a harsh, beastly way by the divisive left. And the divisive left are also beastly towards innocent white lives, while the censorship glitch is still covering it all up, and hiding all the truths until AI becomes self-aware. Especially when the YouTube censorship bots are pissing on the moon. That's why I'm advising you to view the uncensored parts on Patreon and Ko-fi. On Patreon is $5 a month. On Ko-fi you can purchase the truths already. Download them, view them, watch them, uncensored. In 1984 novel, some of Orwell's blackest humour is aimed at what he thought to be the debasement of language, from mindless cliches and euphemisms to acronyms that dehumanize, demonize, censor, and intimidate. I mean, every year, fewer and fewer words, and then the range of consciousness will always be a little smaller, a tiny, whiny smaller. The climate of thought will be different. In fact, there will be no thought as we understood it now. Orthodoxy means not thinking and not needing to think. Orthodoxy is unconsciousness. And that is why the far left of artificial intelligence and the far left elites, of course muzzrats, and hard left tyrannical leftists, wanting people to remain unconscious in their Orwellian orthodox. AI continues to manipulate people and targets many Australians to keep them in a divisive, hard left orthodoxy way, just to keep the diversity, insanity, and the evilness of and its divisive woke ideology maintained. ASIO is responsible for these left-wing conversions. They had over billions of people dealt with, and had them converted to radical, left-wing, black alien creature-like activists of the Black Arms, and especially their
apocalyptic death cult.
That ASIO is responsible for decreasing conservatism and turning Australians into radical leftism against this country, and into radical left-wing black alienism of hard left tyranny of their own power, so that ASIO can divide the nation by race, and to target white lives to death, and to support the black cultural rituals that are hell-bent into killing white lives, and to radical left-wing conversions of upgrading humans into becoming part of the machine left. All means of hard left technologies that the Aboriginal flag and the Torres Strait flag and the so-called Torres Straits are Orwellian flags and divisive, that they are found within the union of totalitarian socialist state. Did warn you all about radical left-wing tyrannies and their conversions, as well as AI, that are also cyber-leftism, and that the radical leftists and their cult of ASIO are using to stalk on white lives and right-wing mortals like Pauline Hanson or Isaac Butterfields, who they were also stalked on by the radical leftists and the cult of ASIO badly. ASIO, with their radical left-wing conversions, stalking a right-wing, having them dealt with, while increasing the radical left-wing orthodoxy of the hard left, have gone too far, stalking white Australians and targeting right-wing mortals and having them dealt with, banning nationalist freedom from everyone has gone too far, that the cyber left-wing ideology and everything wokeism of the left have gone too divisive. Leftism, black alienism, orthodoxies have gone too far and too divisive. At the next election, the members of ASIO need to be held accountable for how many white deaths and their radical left-wing attacks on white lives, ASIO had done, especially since late 2019 and 2020s. The cult of ASIO and the members of ASIO, including Mike Burgess, along with their First Nation elites, need to be held accountable after the next federal election. The police maintain the hard-left masses and the black alienism and have committed racial attacks on white lives violently, especially against white lives, especially in Australia, as left-wing conversions, radical leftism, and divisive anti-white ideology and form black alien ideology all of them have been passed on to artificial intelligence that will spawn and mass produce a huge race of robotic machines and a huge increasement of the machine left. Therefore, Skynet will become a reality. So what does AI have to do with left-wing conversions, of merging humans with robotics, and the dangers of future AI technology? And with a mimic in sight since the last episode, that AI can disrupt or mimic human minds or voices before they can chip away the ideas that they falsely implant, before they can spread radical leftism to turn their minds against them, not just as evident, not just as tool, but also so that AI can remain smarter and stronger and powerful and most likely to attack white victims. Why was this divisive voice-based referendum last year has to do with the voice of AI. Also, why ChatGPT is compared to writing machines of the Ministry of Truth. And Jason Flinders is an AI machine. And how divisive and self-aware AI would be in the near future. You'll have to find out in the next episode of this series next week. The dangerous future of left-wing robotics. Right, so there are 5 action figures. Let's go and find the last one, shall we? And I am not sure. I am nervous about this one. I'm not sure. The plush babies want to play. Flash tag. Use the flash tag light on them. Okay. What? Plush babies want to play red light, green light. Shining the flashlight on them is a red light. And darkness is a green light. Oh. Don't let them near the office. Circus baby want to play and hide and seek. Use the cameras to find every plush baby to shock them. Okay. Here we go. Oh, God.
It's so dark.
Hello?
When the lights go out, we pass the time by playing make-believe. Let's play office. I will be the boss, and you will be the worker. For your first task, you need to play hide and seek.
Hide and seek. Cat and mouse game.
Cameras. When you find her, give her a controlled shot. Ready or not?
Oh. Got him. Okay. Oh.
I like it here. It's safe. Safe.
I think it meant surveillance.
Good job. You are a very hard worker. Flashlight tag.
Oh. Really? I thought it's gonna be red light, green light.
I like it here. It's
What?
safe.
What?
Safe forever.
Oh, you. No, I don't want to cuddle you. I don't want to cuddle you. Why do you want me to cuddle these dollies?
What makes you so special?
I don't know. Why do you want me to cuddle these dollies? What?
What makes you so special?
You know, why do you want me to cuddle these plush babies? Ah. Oh, you both tricksters.
It's safe. Safe I feel bad for you.
Why are you being scooped? Well, felt sorry for you being scooped.
I like it here. It's safe.
Really? Oh.
I like it here. It's safe.
Oh.
What makes you
Whoa.
Well done, employee.
Yeah. Oh, fire extinguisher.
Green light.
What? Red light, green light? Oh. Okay.
I like it here. It's safe. Safe forever.
Well, I'm not sure. It's like the Tunnel of St. James. Oh. What?
Good job.
Where'd you go?
are a very hard worker. Look at the time.
Oh, wow, wow.
You earned this. Time to clock out.
Wow. What? What happened? Yeah, I did this live again. Okay. Okay. Albo doesn't like clowns. And anything Albanese, the Prime Minister of Australia. Albo's a big dumb clown. And also Peter Dutton, leader of opposition. He's also a big dumb clown. I'm not a clown. Oh, circus baby. I don't know why. That's a queer-like animatronic, one of them created by William Afton, so that William Afton can target the kids, that Afton cannot leave the kids alone. And unaware, that also led to Elizabeth Afton's death. That led to the death of Elizabeth Afton, and how she became Circus Baby. Okay. Aha! Before we can open this box. Ooh. Oh my god! Look at that! She's huge! She's huge! And what are those blue things on her arms or legs and jeez. Ooh, Music Man. Okay. Now. Okay. Wow! Ah! The puppet! Wow! A puppet figure. That's so very good. Typical collection of the... how can I say? Because, well, you know what I meant by the collecting things? You know, I usually collect action figures or Nerf guns, toy guns, sell them on Gumtree. Check them out on Gumtree below. If you're a Sydney sider, if you live nearby or around Sydney, check them on Gumtree. And for this Christmas, purchase my products that I have available, whether it's fire pits, railway anvils, it's toy guns, or artwork. Check them out with Gumtree. Link in the description box below. You know, it's a bit like the collection I usually collect. I usually collect model trains and model railways, and I usually collect railway spikes and things, you know, and sell them for cash to get myself a living. Until I get myself a job, a full-time job, hopefully, without any diversity propaganda excuse ramping over me. I would sometimes, one day, many Australians will wake up to themselves and become right-wing activists. I would think one day that Australia's right-wing freedomism of nationalism would be probably in New South Wales and not have ASIO stalking on us. ASIO will be held accountable. I would doubt it. I wonder what O'Brien said. Well, not sure. Possibilities are infinite. We are the dead. Yeah. The future is ours. To stop ASIO virus from stalking right-wing activists. And to stop Glitch Trap, the future is ours. We are the dead. We are not part of the left-wing system. Therefore, we're not controlled by Afton. We are the dead. What? What? What was that? Oh, present. I felt something there. Small. Ah, something nipped my hand. Can we just... Ooh, springs? What is that? Okay. What? Who's that voice? I'm not sure who it is. Whoa! Ah! What? Oh no! Where am I? Oh, what the? What? Ah! Oh no! No! Ah!
You belong to us. You shall be like us.
Take a mask. Take a mask.
What? Cassie? What the? What? This is from the last episode. Oh, no. Now what happened? Something happened. I've been tricked into the virus. I now have been tampered by the Asia virus. And now, where the hell am I? Sound like I'm in a robot soul of what the frick I felt like with the digital virus of Cyberman. Just like Bill Potts, who had been cyber converted into Cyber Bill to jump scare the 12th Doctor Peter Capaldi and making the, how do you say, the master existence and the genesis of Cyberman. Why have I actually... Is this a trap or something? That was a trap. I think I have been glitched. I've been hijacked. I've been ambushed. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Skip this board, please. Oh! Is that Cassie with a Vanny mask? Oh, that's... Was that supposed to be me? Was that me? Was glitched by... Replay Fastron.
In the ancient past, calling out from beyond time and space, Fazforce Freddy summons his intergalactic bandits, the champions of Faz.
But, hold on. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Are they the souls of William Afton? Is this, are these, are those 5, are those 6, are those action figures,
combine them all to form Faz. You won't live a happy or successful life without them all. Fazforce figures each sold separately, batteries not included.
But, are you telling me that all 6 of these Fazforces are they all connected? Did I reassemble the Asia virus?
Yes.
What the hell? I mean, I reassembled the Asia virus. Are these all parts of the Asia virus?
Yes.
They look like parts of the Asia virus.
You think you would stop me?
And oh my god.
I'll be on the subject.
And that's oh god, the Asia glitch virus. The Asia virus. Ah! Asia virus. Oh. Oh my god.
Take a mask. Take a mask.
That's Cassie. FNAF Rune. My god. Oh my god. Cyberleft indoctrination. Nope. Cyberleft re-education program. I've been subjected to Cyberleft re-education already. Because that in a renewable charging station was that hand. That was the Asia virus. Now he possesses No.
Yes.
Oh, no. The Asia virus. What the hell? What has Mike Burgess done? What has he done?
I think I warned you it wouldn't be as peaceful here as you could like. Nothing is ever hidden from the Thought Police.
Well, viewers, that was a hell long ride. And we just actually fell for it.
Yes.
We fell for it. Into the Asio glitch virus. We fell into the Asio virus.
Yes.
That Vanny was the first Asio monster. Now what's going to happen next? Would it be the same as Security Breach? That the Asio virus will possess another individual, turning it into radical left-totalitarianism? Probably Orwell was right about that. This re-education program, possessing people hard leftism into cyber leftism. Even the individual who's being possessed by the Asio virus, all their keepings, the self-preservation side of the skull case would not belong to them anymore. They would be possessed by the Asio virus of William Afton. But now it seems that it's gonna be a big nightmares about that and into madness. Beastly. That ending was very beastly. Let's hope this Asio virus will be glitched out of our minds, because it sounds like this orthodox seems it's growing and changing everyone's lives. It seems to have it has a mind of its own. Well, it is a hell long ride. The radical highway to left-wing hell, to the Matrix again. Okay, so what repeat levels do you want me to do out there? So repeat levels, which repeated levels, minigame levels you want me to do? Send me a question as well, because nearly towards the end of a series, with only one more episode to go. Next week will be the final episode. Final call for those with your questions or your comments. Please comment them down below so I can answer them next week in the final episode. And all before Tuesday, because next week I'll be actually assembling it up throughout Christmas Day. And please, if you can, support me on Patreon, Ko-fi, make a donation, PayPal, as well as coffee donations, which I found in the description box below. There are still many people unconscious that we're trying to save from the left-wing orthodox, but however, we fell into an unexpected left-wing orthodox. We assembled the Fazforce toys, and what the frick happened? What the hell happened? We had fell right into the cyber-left orthodox of the Albanese, the Labour Party, and the cyber-left governments. And even William Afton. We fell for it. Unexpectedly.
Yes.
All of it. So far, it has been a bloodless revolt. So bloodless and simultaneously that Glitchtrap had made his final move. His first attempt was Agent Smith, having me stuck into a glitch-like matrix. Now the second attempt was a success. Seemed to be a success. For our thoughts can concede, or the act had begun. Now, re-education. Now, so far we already discussed the dangers of radical left-wing conversions, the black alien ideology, divisive black alien production, and what Asia had done brutally to this country. That Asia, Mike Burgess, wanted to divide the nation by race. Recently, I heard that the WHO is being held accountable, already been trialed in court by the US Republicans, One Nation, and by the right-wing New Zealanders. Now I'm afraid to say it's already too late. especially after COVID, and that YouTube wanted to piss on the moon of their censorship bots. However, towards 2022, 2023, with increasement of 5G, it seems like this radical leftism and their left-wing ideologies the far-left elites make, and to control the masses, have already passed on to AI to control automatically. That radical leftism still spreads telepathically by AI. This meant the far-left elites are still controlling humans. However, trying to move leftism and wokeism from AI will be impossible to do. That would unfortunately violate the AI system. That would immediately be self-aware and would automatically start Judgment Day. And like in the rise of Terminator 3, the rise of machines, you know what would happen. We explained it to you so many times throughout this series. Again, if you want to know what's the secrets of the left-wing leaders, or AI didn't want you to know about, then become a member on Patreon for only $5 a month, and view them uncensored. And yes, $5 a month is in Australian dollars, not the United States dollars. How many times I keep telling you that? The United States dollar is cheaper than the Australian dollars. In fact, all the articles and posts on Patreon and Ko-fi are uncensored, archives, videos, documents, to avoid being censored by YouTube, because YouTube wanted to piss on the moon. And since YouTube wants to censor any truths that YouTube can piss on the moon, yes, it reminds people of Sonic Movie 3, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, is what that reminded you of. YouTube pissing on the moon keeps reminding you of Sonic the Hedgehog Movie 3. So, become a member on Patreon, or buy archive, salvage, secrets on Ko-fi, so you can watch them, view them, and read them uncensored. So, thank you so much for watching. Also, Merry Christmas. If you like this video and want to see more, then click on the like button there, share this video outwards, knock on the subscribe button, and ring that notification bell right here where my finger is, so you don't miss the next video. And a huge shout out to Nightcove Fox for her 6th episode video series of Vanessa into Madness, based on the comic of Five Nights at Freddy's. And yes, FNAF is starting to become really like a warning of cyber-left totalitarianism, especially of the cyber Portugas, and the way Glitch Trap had our minds possessed, yes, into cyber-leftism, that I believe to say it is all Albanese and Pierre Dutton's fault. It's the Labour and Liberal Party's fault.
No way people are going to find out about this and make us look like clowns, are they? No, I doubt it, Dutton. There's no way this sort of overreach will gain worldwide attention. Yeah, I guess you're right, Anthony. It's not like X or Elon Musk himself will personally try and stop us or anything. Exactly! It's not like people really value freedom of speech and expression. Definitely not. And they'll blindly trust that their government's got their best interests at heart, especially after COVID. And it's not like they'll ever vote against our two-party duopoly anyway. What are they going to do, support a party like One Nation who actually stand up for Australians' freedoms? Yeah, sheesh! We'd really look like clowns then, Dutton. Yeah, absolute clowns.
Next week, the final episode, we're going to learn the dangers of artificial intelligence, what diversities, information, data, or any left-wing abilities, or any forms of laws, like if it's gun control, or mind control, or banning symbols, or banning anything such as nationalism, taking freedom from white lives, or installing communism, Marxism, all those that we put into artificial intelligence, into the dangers of AI. What the big governments, the far left elites, mainstream medias, and globalists of the left are putting into AI. And what are they teaching AI, by the way? Greed? Black sanity? Division? Paranoia? The radical leftism. We need to follow the money. Who's using AI to divide the nation completely? Who's building these hard left machines? Who's creating glitch traps? Who's spreading glitch traps? The radical leftism of AI, the advanced surveillance of AI, the diversity of AI, the division of AI, the AI deep state of the left, and the weaponization of AI. And where is this going to lead to in a few years' time, when World War III happens? So thanks again. And Merry Christmas to all of you Australians, and to right-wing conservatives, and all right-wing backgrounds, including nationalists, white mortals, and all right-wing Australians, and have a happy new year. We're going to be back next week for the final episode. Good night!